So welcome back to F1 Power Rankings with the Teams Edition prior to the Bahrain Grand Prix. We are starting the fourth race of the season and we will rank the teams right now, and tomorrow the drivers will follow. Let's start with P10, which is again Kick Sauber as last week. As I said last week, they are faster than you would have expected before the season, but both missed Q3 by a short margin. I think Hülkenberg was close. I think it was less than a tenth. And he said in the race he could not overtake, which is, I think, specific to Suzuka. He was stuck in traffic, and that indicates that he was faster than his position in P16. Bortoletto, I think, just had a bad start and lost 2 places there, finished in P19. But all in all, I think Kick Sauber has a good trajectory and they are seeming to pick up some pace. In P9 we have Alpine, which are still without points and actually pace-wise not that far from Kick Sauber. We also had a report that Colapinto tested an old car in Monza, so he's getting ready. And Jack Doohan crashed again in FP2 after he was not in the car in FP1. They give it to Hirakawa, which after the session got the seat at Haas for the reserve driver role. So I think this is also like a bit of mismanagement from Alpine. Why should you give a driver who's not driving for you in the future the FP1s? I don't get it. Also, Gasly missed some time at the pit stop. And you think from the point that Doohan kind of built a train of cars in the midfield that they are really slow and also slow on the straights. So that doesn't help in qualifying and also not in the race. So P9 for Alpine. P8 goes to Aston Martin, where Alonso had a great race in P11, but he also himself said that he should not be that up high. They should really focus fully on 2026. They can only finish P5 in this Constructors' Championship, and even that is unrealistic at this point. I think Stroll did a test run after he didn't perform at all in qualifying and in the race start. And he has to get back to his good start of the season. And in P7 we have Haas, which are, I think, pretty much in the middle of the midfield. They scored a point again with Behrman. Ocon didn't perform in quali and got stuck in the race, as many other drivers did as well. If they keep up with these performances, I think with consistency they have the chance of scoring low points in the races more often. And Bahrain will show, I think, how they are on tires right now. Because of the high temperatures, there will be a bit more of degradation in this race. P6 goes to VCARB as last week. Hadjar finished best of the rest for the first time in P8 and also beat a Ferrari in the qualifying. It's only the second time that VCARB could perform at the top of the midfield after the Chinese sprint. So I think even if they have the fastest car in the midfield, I think they're pretty close with Williams. They did not execute well so far. They also sacrificed Lawson's race a bit for Hadjar to make sure that Hadjar gets P8, and also Lawson, I think, needs a bit of time to get up to speed with the car. And you can also suggest that Lawson probably has kind of a quali weakness because he lost the quali to Hadjar now, and I think last season also against Tsunoda he was not that good in qualifying. P5 goes to Williams, where Albon scored again and Sainz was much closer to him in qualifying. Took a penalty, which was more of the team's fault because they didn't notice Sainz that Hamilton was behind him. You could see that Sainz had a bit of pace in the race because he was the only car who really did overtakes. He is getting up to speed right now, even though the result doesn't show it right now. I think if Sainz gets up to Albon's level or even further up, Williams will be really difficult to beat for P5 with probably the strongest driver lineup in the midfield. And P4 is the first changing in the power rankings, and it is Ferrari. I think you could see that Leclerc overperformed in the qualifying because the Mercedes were really close in the end of the race. Leclerc even outperformed the car. Hamilton had no pace whatsoever. I think he had a pretty lonely race in P7. What's positive is that Leclerc said after the race they found something with the setup. You can also argue that they had a bad start to the season the last 2 years as well and got much stronger towards the middle of the season. So the potential should be there also with the sprint win in China. P3 is Red Bull, who climbed up the ranking 1 place, and this is because they got a win. Even though I still would suggest that this win is only due to Verstappen and his amazing performance. You have to give him credit for this. But also Tsunoda showed promising signs in the free practice, messed up his lap in Q2 of course, still qualified and finished higher than Lawson ever did in this car. If he delivers the same performance in Bahrain, maybe they will get the first double points finish, and the win also shows that the car has speed if they can set up it right. P2 stays Mercedes. I think they are pretty consistent right now. Unusual that Russell messed up his lap in Q3, so if he got a normal lap he would probably finish P4 or even higher. You can also say that Antonelli is getting closer. He executed well, performs, and both of the drivers actually perform really consistent. You can see the results right now are P3, P4 in Australia, P3, P6 in China, and P5, P6 in Japan right now. So you can say that they finished top 6 with both cars in every race. Pretty incredible. But overall, I think the Mercedes is still lacking pace to the top 3. Yeah, not cars, but drivers. So the 2 McLarens and Verstappen. So no surprise, in P1 is still McLaren. They are still clearly the fastest car, even though they did not win this weekend. They are heavy favorites for the constructors. For the drivers, I'm actually not so sure. I don't understand why they didn't split the strategy. At one point, you could also think that they just tried to maximize points, but did not try to win this race. But still, they were less than a tenth away from a 1-2 in quali. And if they got the 1-2 in quali, they also would probably finish 1-2. The track specific was that you couldn't overtake in Japan, but I think this will be the case in probably even the majority of the tracks this season, so they have to figure out their qualifying maybe also, and get the laps together so that they could still stay in P1 in both championships. And this was the team power ranking. The drivers follows tomorrow, and enjoy your day. Goodbye.